Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to my next video on the Mega Evolutions for Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Today's video is going to be all about Mega Audino, so let's get started by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So upon Mega evolving through the use of the Audinite item, Mega Audino gains the additional Fairy typing, which is added on to the usual normal typing that we know Audino for, making it one of the unique Pokemon that get this normal Fairy typing, which is shared only by the Jigglypuff line and I believe Azurill. So it's kind of cool. Gives you a couple more resistances to things like Bug and Dark type moves, and also at the same time though, gets rid of your fighting weakness, but in exchange for that gives you a weakness to both poison and steel type moves. So those are a couple of things to keep in mind when using this Pokemon, but the added resistances are definitely beneficial for allowing Mega Audino to take a variety of different attacks from certain Pokemon that you may be up against. Now, one of the biggest drawbacks though of this Mega Evolution is that you do not actually get access to the Regenerator ability that regular Audino is known for, and instead can only use the Healer ability. Now, this ability typically is only seen as being a good ability in doubles because this is the only time the Healer ability works. It has a 30% chance to make it so that your teammate's status is healed at the end of a turn. However, it does not work like the ability Shed Skin does, in the sense that it doesn't actually heal your status ever. It can only heal a teammate's status. So that is a bit of a drawback to the Mega Evolution, but as you're going to see in a second, the stat boost that you get from this Mega Evolution, as well as the additional Fairy typing, do allow this Pokemon to function quite a bit differently than the regular version of Audino. So as you can take a look right here, the defense and special defense stats on Mega Audino actually get increased by 40 points when it does use its Mega Stone to achieve the Mega Evolution. So it brings its defense and special defense from 86 all the way up to 126, making this Pokemon significantly more bulky than the regular version of Audino. In addition to this, it also increases its special attack by 20 points, which is something that was sorely needed on the regular version of Audino to allow it to do damage, since it is one of the only pink blob defensive Pokemon in the game that doesn't have access to Seismic Toss. So getting this 20% boost into its special attack allows this Pokemon to do a bit of damage with its attacking moves while also being able to wall attackers. Now, because this Pokemon also doesn't get access to Leftovers or the Regenerator ability, you do have to use it a little bit differently than the regular version of Audino. And if you're going to want to run a Wish-Pass version of Mega Audino, chances are you are better off just using regular Audino to do that, because it has Leftovers and Regenerator and can Wish-Pass a lot better than this can, because the only way this can get recovery is through the use of moves such as Wish and other things like that. So that is something to keep in mind, which is why as we're going into the sets, these are very different than just a normal defensive Audino set that you just slapped a Mega Stone on. These have to function quite a bit differently because you can't use this Pokemon in the same way as you use the regular version of Audino. However, it kind of gets a really cool bonus in the sense that it is able to actually run a very effective boosting set, which is the first set that I'm going to show you in this video. So for this first set, we are going to begin by giving this Pokemon a bold nature to increase its physical defense and lower its physical attack, and for the ability, we're going to be going with Regenerator on the regular version of Audino, but this is obviously going to turn into Healer as soon as you Mega Evolve. As for the EVs, we're going to put 252 into its HP to max that out, and 252 EVs into its physical defense to max that out as well, and the remainder 4 EVs into its special attack. Now with the bold nature and the 252 defense EVs, you achieve a defense stat that is almost 400, which is absolutely ridiculous, just showing how bulky this Pokemon can be with just a good investment on its EV spread and a positive defense nature. And with its HP stat being a base 103, this Pokemon is definitely able to take hits from a variety of attackers all day. And for the item, obviously, we're going to be using the Audinite item to allow this Pokemon to achieve its Mega Evolution. But for the moves on this set, since I did mention that this was a boosting set, we are going to start off by running Calm Mind, which is a boosting move that increases both your special attack and your special defense by 1 stage every time you go for it. And to use this boosts, we're going to be using the move Draining Kiss, which is a new move that Audino gets this generation, and with the addition of the Fairy typing to your type overall once you do Mega Evolve, the Draining Kiss will get Stab on it and provide you with a ton of recovery to allow this Pokemon to continue using this attack and keep its health up throughout battle as it's continuing to boost and take out opponents while it is obviously healing itself at the same time. So even though this move is fairly weak, being base 50, the recovery from it is extremely beneficial because of how much you actually recover from this move, and I'm always incredibly surprised by how much you actually get back using this move. And with this, it'll allow this Pokemon to retain its HP at a pretty high level without the use of a move such as Wish or Pain Split or something like that. So that's really important and essential to the set. Now for a second attacking move, you can either go with Fire Blast or Hidden Power Ground for some coverage. Fire Blast obviously being super effective against the steel types you are weak to, and a variety of other things, but Hidden Power Ground also being super effective against the steel types and the poison types you are weak to, and a few other things. But if you also just want to run a straight out mono attacking set with Draining Kiss, you can do so as well and run Wish as this third move here to give you an added way to recover health. And to be used alongside this for your fourth move slot, you could either run Substitute to put you behind a protective barrier to shield you from attacks and statuses, or Heal Bell as a way to get rid of any statuses you might acquire while you are trying to boost up, because chances are the most common way your opponent will be able to try and take this thing down if they don't happen to have a strong poison or steel type Pokemon on their team is through poison or other statuses, and if you can just Heal Bell to get rid of those, your opponent will have a very difficult time taking down this Pokemon. So overall, this is a very effective boosting set. It makes this Pokemon insanely bulky and self-sustaining in that it can recover a bunch of HP through the use of Draining Kiss, and also have additional attacking options or just even more recovery through the use of Wish if you would like. So this is definitely a very effective way to use Mega Audino that separates it from the regular version of Audino that you are typically used to seeing. And as for this next set, I wanted to show off a defensive set for this Pokemon, but I didn't want to make it the exact same set that you are typically used to seeing on the regular version of Audino, because like I said before, a Wish-Pass set is better done by the regular version of Audino than this one because it lacks the Regenerator and the leftovers. So for this one, we're going to start off by giving it a Bold Nature to increase its defense and lower its physical attack, and for the ability, we are going to be going with Regenerator for the regular version of Audino. As for the EVs, this time we're going to put 252 EVs into its HP to max that out, 64 into its defense, and 192 into its special defense to give it some very good mixed bulk all around to allow it to take physical and special hits equally well. And for the item, we are going to be going with the Autonite item again to allow this Pokemon to achieve its Mega Evolution. But as for the moves, this time we are going to be running either Draining Kiss or Knockoff in the first move slot here, which is going to allow this Pokemon an additional way to recover health, or give it a way to remove the item from your opponent's Pokemon, which is such a great option that this Pokemon is able to use, and often even on just regular Audino sets, you opt to use Knockoff over a normal type attacking move just because of the utility of this move being amazing. But along with this, we're going to actually be running a Parafusion type set. So we are going to be running Sweet Kiss to allow us to confuse our opponents, and then also Thunder Wave as a way to paralyze our opponents, thus making it very difficult for them to attack. So along with that, we are also getting rid of their leftovers potentially through Knockoff, which means that they will no longer be able to recover health through the use of an item or something like that, and also turning their own attack against them. But also, as I said before, Draining Kiss is another option to allow you to recover health and also deal some good fairy type damage in the process. But for the last move on this set, since I didn't want to obviously use Wish or anything like that, we're actually be running Pain Split, which is a move that this Pokemon does get that a lot of people don't realize because they're so used to using Wish and stuff like that. But this is a very good move to use, especially because we are actually making use of Thunder Wave on the set, because this Pokemon is typically slow. So if you're able to paralyze something at pretty high health, you can paralyze it and then Pain Split and get a ton of your health back. Well, they now have to deal with the potential confusion that's going to come through the use of Sweet Kiss, or be able to, continue to attack them through the use of one of your attacking moves while they get paralyzed. So overall, this set works very well in combination with itself. It's a really good support set and could allow you to get some free switches with some of your other Pokemon if your opponent is confused and paralyzed at the same time, because the chances of them hitting the switch in once you do switch this Pokemon out are very low as a result of the statuses you inflicted upon it. So that is the more unique Mega Audino set that I wanted to share with all of you, that I think is just as effective as any other set you could use with this thing, and is not an exact replica of just a regular Audino set that you just put a Megastone on. But anyways, everybody, that is it for this video. So I want to thank you all for watching and hope you enjoyed these 2 Mega Audino sets. I'm a really big fan of that boosting one. I suggest you try it out if you have not done so already. And this one that you are seeing right in front of you is also a really great way to use this Pokemon as well. But that is it, like I said. So as always, everybody, thank you all for watching. Take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.